Chris.
I'm Adrian.
And I'm Jimmy.
Welcome to episode 26 of WorldView Finder.
What are you eating at the Fall Festival this week?
This week, okay, so we do record this. We're
Early.
recording this one a week early.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Just in case something crazy happens.
We're
and then
breaking
people
that garden wall.
Oh,
the
we'll get to
garden
that.
wall. Yeah, today we are going to talk about over the garden wall probably most of the whole time. But
Yeah.
so Fall Fest is this week. So for those of you outside of Evansville, our 1% Argentinian listeners, it's a giant
missing out.
festival that we just have everything fried. Like
Named USA Today's Top Fall Festival
That's what I heard.
What?
In the United States.
in the United States.
Oh man,
The best fall festival.
that half pot's gonna be crazy this year. So yeah, so the pronto pups are always something I eat down there. It's like a corn dog, except the batter has like a cake donut, like a vanilla cake donut batter. So it's a sweeter batter.
Oh.
I thought it was just pancake batter.
See, I always thought that, and then when I first got married, my wife made pancakes and wrapped around hot dogs, and it was not the same.
It was all wrong.
Well,
it was not
it's
great.
the same as homemade corn dogs. It's not the same.
Yeah, but no, this was not. Yeah, no, it's I've seen the secret recipe, and so
Wow.
Okay.
I know things.
Yeah, let's get a pronto
Um,
pup,
Pronto pup,
corn fritters,
giant Texas tenderloins.
Ooh. I just have the frozen banana, chocolate covered frozen banana on a stick.
which you can get at the frozen aisle of Target.
I also like the Papa John's pizza.
He also gets pizza down there,
No,
and we yell at him. We
Jimmy.
yell at him.
I
You don't
like
know who Alfred
Papa
Hitchcock
John-
is, and you get pizza at the Fall
I
Festival.
like Papa John's pizza.
Oh,
it's
man.
only
Where
$2.
I'm canceling you.
So
my life.
they have brain sandwiches down there, which I will never try. I'm
Nope.
not doing it. One
Don't be
time,
scared.
my friend got one. He's like, "It's creamy," and I was like,
Oh,
That's
don't say that
sorry.
again.
Okay.
That's the brain juice.
And then the Bonnie Cristo sandwich is not there anymore, but
Oh, it's my favorite.
it
Got
was
canceled.
it's French toast bread, and then it's a turkey and ham and cheese sandwich, and they batter and deep fry the whole thing.
As
and
you
put
should.
powdered sugar and strawberry jelly on top.
Oh, it's so good.
Or raspberry jam. It's great.
It's creamy.
But yeah, but anything frozen or not frozen, fried
Or
cookie
frozen.
dough, fried Oreos, fried green beans.
Gross.
My favorite thing was one year. It was deep fried butter, and it was the best. Did you ever have it?
It's like a biscuit, right?
Yeah. All they would do is take like a little pat of butter that you get at Cracker Barrel, and then they put it in biscuit dough, and then wrap it the whole thing, and then drop it in a deep
Fryer.
fryer. And so it was a fried biscuit,
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that
and
sounds
you
good.
dipped it in honey. And so if they would call it fried biscuits, probably would have brought it back. I was like, fried butter, what's that? Like, because you're in your brain, it's like
That's my
it's
biggest.
like a stick of butter.
That's my biggest qualm about the Fall Festival is they name everything so wild
Yeah.
that you don't know what it is, and I feel like people miss out
Yeah.
because
just-
I'm not getting a dirty diaper, but I will get a pumpkin turnover,
yeah.
Fair enough.
which is what it is.
So it's a pumpkin turnover. They call it a dirty diaper.
Yeah, I'm
They
not.
need to
eating
work
that.
on their marketing.
I'm not eating that.
But that's like people will eat it because they're like, ooh, a dirty diaper. I
Yeah,
have
but
that.
if you're looking at a menu that has like 1,000 items on it, you're gonna see dirty diaper and be like, well, I don't have time to go walk to the booth and figure out what that is.
Yeah. There's an eagle egg. That was pretty good.
Yeah, like what's that?
It's
Gives me no eagle powers.
it's a hard-boiled egg wrapped in a piece of sausage and then deep fried.
Gives
It's
me no
good.
nutrients.
That's weird.
The eagle was a lie.
Eggs were alive, Steven. This is from Nacho Libre.
I never saw
Our
that one.
favorite quote.
Oh, Nacho Libre, great
It's my
movie.
that's my favorite and most used quote in real life.
Oh my
What?
goodness.
It's like because we eat a lot of eggs at our house, so I always just have to say these eggs were alive.
These eggs were a- they didn't give me any nutrients. All right. Oh man. So go to the Fall Festival if you're in town. It's great. Okay. We're going to talk about probably my favorite thing. Like
Wow,
my
in the whole
favorite,
world.
my favorite piece of content in media.
The rehearsal.
The
Work
rehearsal.
of true art.
No, it's called Over the Garden Wall. I watched it. I don't even know who told me to watch it. I just remember maybe my friend Corbin, but I had watched it. He has a tattoo of two of the characters.
Wow.
He won it in a contest, and
You won tattoos?
he won some tattoos.
What?
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
want to win
It's
tattoos.
a raffle.
And but it is It's the best. And so, early on in this podcast, we talked about it was the episode with Hannah on it where we talked about Wingfeather Saga, which I finished the first book. But you and her both had not seen Over the Garden Wall.
Right.
You had tried it once.
Yes.
And got spooked because
It's a little weird.
disclaimer. It's weird. Is it scary? Would you say it's scary?
It's unsettling.
That's the perfect word to describe it. It's
Unsettling.
unsettling. And I was in a season of my life where like unsettling things were just not gonna go well with
We're
me.
gonna fly one. Now you're reading,
Now I'm reading
House Across the
scary
Lake.
books.
Yeah.
I'm reading. I'm back.
She
I'm
is
back in it.
trying to win tattoos. I don't even know who you are anymore. So, yeah. Okay, so the premise of it are two half brothers. That's important. Get lost in the woods, and they're trying to find their way back home. Like that's the overall premise.
Okay.
The kid. So the older brother is Wirt, W-E-R-T.
Played by Elijah Wood.
Played by Elijah Wood. The voice cast in this is great. And then you have Greg, who has a upside down teapot on his head and his pockets full of candy.
Pockets full of candy, and
I'll call you Candy
he
Pants.
carries a frog.
He carries a frog, which they're trying to name throughout the film or throughout the
The show.
episodes, the show. So yeah, so it is a shorter. You can watch the whole thing in probably an hour and a half, hour
Yeah,
and 45
almost
minutes.
2 hours.
Yeah, and
Under.
so I forgot to look up how many episodes it is, but each episode's like only 10 to 12 minutes long. Like they're short
Yeah.
episodes, and so it's very watchable. So you sat down and watched it in a whole setting,
Yep.
you and your friends. So what?
Yeah.
Like, give me your initial thoughts.
Well, my initial thoughts was like the opening scene. We just like laughed our heads off. So we were like, "This is gonna be great because it's funny."
It's very funny.
It is.
Yeah,
Very funny.
and then it is unsettling for a while, but you're like, you start to realize, like, okay, there's something deeper going on here.
Yeah.
There's the character development is great. I mean, and then there's like kind of a big twist.
There is it's twisty.
Twisty at the end, and then but it was like once it was over, I was glad that I watched it all in one setting
Yeah.
because I saw it more as a whole rather than just like episodal.
Yeah.
And so then you're like, oh man, there's so much. I almost wanted to go back and rewatch it
Yeah.
again with the kind of twist in mind.
Well, so this was, I don't know if they're going to do it again this year. It was streaming on YouTube from on the Cartoon Network, and they had it was just a constant stream. So it would go
Yeah.
straight from one episode to the next. And so I never had noticed this before, but it starts with and ends with this rock that's got a little painted face on it. So
Oh, wow.
like the
Okay.
opening before anything happens is a rock being picked up, and then the last scene or the last shot is the rock being put back.
So there,
Full
that's what
circle.
this is good about the show is like there are so many layers that you're like, I don't even know if that's significant, but that was obviously significant because it was a
it's-
choice, especially when it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like that's a very specific choice. But then I think it's like up for interpretation too. It's not.
Oh, yes.
It's not trying to tell you this is what this show is about.
Yeah.
This is what we believe. Even like this is our worldview. It's like, what do you think about it?
Yeah.
And so when you look at Reddit forums or threads, like people just get so much stuff out of it.
And that's what good art is. Like you
Yeah.
watch it and want to, like, because I want everybody I know to watch this show. So I want to recommend it, but I also like there are some spooky things. So I started on staff 2 years ago here, and I think September or mid-August. And
Somewhere
so-
around there.
Yeah, and so Jimmy and our friend Sarah, who Adrian works with now, because she quit.
What?
Ha, we got her.
Sarah. So we would watch an episode a day,
Yeah.
or maybe it was once a week. Was it once a week?
I think it was once a day.
So we watched. Yeah. So I made Sarah and Jimmy watch this. I was like, hey, we're gonna go through and watch just during our lunch. We're gonna watch one episode. And so we watched an episode. They're like, this is so weird.
I remember sitting down for the first time. I'm like, what is Chris showing us? This is
Yep.
because like the art style's a little bit different. It is unsettling, and I usually don't watch that kind of stuff. So I'm like, what are we doing? But then it was probably around the third episode. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm actually enjoying this now.
Yeah.
It took
It takes like an episode or two to kind of understand like there's something more going on here.
And I would say the first episode there's like a dog type thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what pretty eyes you have.
It's really scary.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like when I watched the first
kinda
episode, I was like,
intense.
I can't do this.
So the dog is scary, and then the episode with Auntie Whispers is the other scary episode. The ringing of the bell compels you, child. So So the Auntie Whispers episode and the first episode are the scariest. Like, I don't want people to go into this thinking like this is a horror or scary or anything.
Yeah, because it is a cartoon and it's kids and like the little boy, what's his name?
Greg.
Oh,
it kind of diffuses the scariness by his nonchalance.
So somebody pointed out to me, my friend Corbin, that he never is scared.
That's what I mean. It's like he's never
Exactly.
scared, so you're like, oh, if this little boy's not scared, like I can tough it up.
I can.
You know?
But yeah, well, they meet the talking bird in the first episode. Beatrice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a talking bird. Yeah. So that's where you kind of know, like, oh, things are very weird here because they are like, what, you can talk, and she's like, yeah, don't worry about it. So
Don't worry about it.
But I say the overall like theme is, I mean, it's a coming of age story, and I'm a sucker for those. Like, I love coming of age stuff because Greg is trying to figure out like his role as like a kid, like just
Little
he's,
brother.
Yeah, he's probably 5 or 6. Reminds me a lot of my son. He's like probably you could see Amos and him too. Like just because they say hilarious things, and you're like, I ain't trying to be funny. Like, I got no sense at all. And he's got a pet frog that he's trying to name throughout, and it's just so funny. But
And then
worked.
Word is very cynical and kind of down in the dumps.
Yeah, but he's an emotional teenager.
Yeah.
And just like everything is blown out of proportion of like how much it is. But he like kind of learns like I don't have to just let people walk over me or let other people decide my fate. I have some role in this because he'll there's an episode where you find out like, oh, he likes this girl or whatever, and like the way he approaches the relationship is very backwards to how it should, like he's like wanting other people to kind of take charge of it, but then when they do, he gets mad about it, and so he's like he doesn't know how to balance that, and so throughout him and the bird have like several conversations about like, hey, you're just a pushover, like you just do what people tell you, and then he's like, oh, and then he flips it on her and stuff. My favorite, probably the gorilla, the episode with the schoolroom.
Yeah.
Might be my favorite episode. Well, besides the second to last episode where you kind of find out what's going on, but the music in this is the best.
It's pretty good
because it's kind of that New Orleans jazz-ish kind of old. Like it feels
it's
like
different kind of music.
Yeah,
It's old timey.
Yeah,
it's like it kind of where they are is an old timey cartoony place. And so there's lots of throwbacks to like almost like the first kind of Mickey cartoons.
Yeah.
One episode especially with the wind, the old wind.
Yeah.
But what was something you like took away from it or that you liked about it? I
like how quotable it is.
It's super quotable.
Yeah. Well, your influence passed on to our office because one day we were talking about like George Washington or something.
Oh yeah.
And there's an episode that references George Washington and those frogs and stuff.
The frog.
So,
the president is nude.
yeah, that line specifically. So she made us watch that episode.
Oh my goodness.
Has Jonathan seen it?
Just that episode.
What? You can't start. I mean,
I know.
You do have to watch it in order because it's
well,
not
it's just that the song scene. I think it was like the frogs on the boat.
Yeah.
But
so,
Jonathan would like it actually.
No, Greg is a good character, though, because I didn't notice that, but now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, through all these kind of scary scenarios, he is not fazed by it at all.
Yeah.
And he's very much this kind of happy-go-lucky, just enjoying everything around him
Right.
and making it more fun.
And I think Wirt appreciates it at some point, but he also is really annoyed that he has to care for him.
Yeah.
And so it's about him also learning responsibility and care, what it means to care for somebody else.
Yeah, and he kind of, because his dad remarried Greg's mom, and so he kind of doesn't feel the tie.
Oh,
Like it's his brother, but he also kind of sees this as an invasion because he was the only child, and now his dad has affections for this other kid that is kind of his brother, but it's his half brother, and so he kind of has that weird.
Yeah.
But he'll be like, okay, stay right here. And he's like, shh, you shush. And he always. Greg always has this comeback
Yes.
to his older brother of just being annoying, and it's so funny.
Yeah. So I think first it's a coming of age for Wirt.
Yeah.
But then there is a brotherhood. It's what does it mean to be brothers?
And Greg too learns I can still have fun, but I'm going to have to take responsibility. And man, that last episode, now I get kind of teary eyed.
Yeah, it makes you tear up.
Yeah, because it's he starts to take responsibility for some of the things that happened along the way.
Wow.
And so
I have to watch it again. It's that's the only time I've watched it was 2 years ago.
Lunchtime today. We're going to watch the first
Oh,
episode.
gosh.
If we can find it streaming. But my friend Corbin made me a Blu-ray set.
Oh, really?
Blu-ray?
Yeah, with commentary. So I got to watch
With
it.
commentary?
So,
does Elijah Wood do some commentary?
so Elijah Wood, I don't know if he does or not. But wait, so you were talking about Elijah Wood, tell that story about what he...
Oh, yeah, I watched
Elijah Wood plays Frodo Baggins, for those of you that are younger than Jimmy. So
I don't know who that is.
I did not have a crush on him your whole life. Yeah, he was in an interview and talking about all of his career, and he said that he loves his fans and loves talking to them, but the ones that he really either his ears perk up or he wants to engage with are people that have seen this show and want to talk about it.
Really?
Because it's one of his favorite things he's done.
He was Frodo Baggins in the Lord of the Rings. He was the main guy in the Lord of the Rings, and he's I liked Over the Garden Wall better than Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. But
I don't know if he
well, he said it.
He said it, and he
quoted,
wouldn't lie.
You just said that you quoted him verbatim. But I think I don't know, because the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, this is really good.
But you do realize there's so many layers to it.
Yeah, because I watch it every year. It's an annual watching of it, and sometimes more because I'll watch it with other people, and then usually my wife and I will watch it. And so, but last year we let Quincy watch it for the first time.
Oh, what did she think? She creeped?
No, she really liked it because she likes to say she likes scary stuff. So Quincy, we know you do. But she was like, it wasn't that scary. So, but just because those 2 episodes or whatever. Auntie whispers, and that's the other thing. You're you think you know where it's going and where it's headed, and it's oh no, that's not.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's a predictable scenario in a way, because it's this is a kind of a scary scenario that I know where it's going and I'm afraid, and then it totally turns it on its head, and you're like, what? But so there's almost a twist in every episode.
Yeah.
But
And sometimes it's not nearly as scary as you thought it was.
Right.
It's true.
The pumpkin episode.
The thing I feel I do think about the most is there almost at the very end that the frog sings, whatever, and he says it's almost the show ends with the line, "The loveliest lies of them all."
Yeah.
And so, in going back in those each episode's scary stories, there's some sort of lie, not even that you're tricked, because we just talked about, there's a twist, but it's even the characters within that scenario
they believe a lie.
They believe a lie.
Oh.
And they have to And they have to come to terms with that lie.
Yeah, so I want to go back and watch it with that mindset of, like in this, in the school episode, they're all afraid of this
Gorilla. There's a
And-
gorilla on the loose.
Yeah.
And that
and that ends up being like the main character for that episode or for that scary moment or scene is like they've believed a lie.
Yeah.
And found out that it wasn't what they thought, and it ends up being lovely.
So the school teacher in that episode, she sings a song because her low down dirty boyfriend that she was supposed to marry ran away. But it's like, A is for the apple that you gave to me before you ran. So, but she sings through the alphabet, but like they only do part of it. If you go listen to the soundtrack, it's
goodness.
the whole song.
The entire
Oh,
alphabet and like the first 10 numbers.
Yeah.
Like, it goes
Oh my
1
goodness.
through 10.
Oh, it's
Forever long song.
It's so good. It's actually not that long of a song. You'd think it would be, but it's great. So I mean, Jimmy, what's lunch today?
Lunch today? We'll
Before our
watch it.
YouTube meeting, we'll watch it.
Watch a couple episodes.
It's great.
Yeah, I want to watch it with my husband Andy.
Has he not seen it?
No, he hasn't seen it.
Okay, but yeah. So again, like parents, I would say watch it first. Like, it's pretty short before you watch it with your kids because our second child, Sunny, I don't know if she's ready for it yet.
Yeah.
Because there's still things like some of those images might stick in her head and stuff, and so. And,
I
mean,
feel
you
like
even
Amos
said-
would like it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, Shepard might be okay with it, but
It just
but
depends
he's
on
not
you.
going to understand the depths.
I know.
The layers.
But like throughout this episode, you probably should see me start laughing because I'm thinking of like
All the
certain
different things
lines
that
and stuff.
happen.
Yeah, because there's an episode where they go in this house. It's the Andy Whispers episode, and they're like, they thought it was abandoned, but then they find out it's not, and then like there's like this tub full of turtles. He's like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't come here." He's like, "Yeah, we're here to steal from you." And like Greg saying that, and he's like, "No, we just come here." He's like, "We're here to burgle your turts." And I don't know,
Burgle your turts.
that line is so like the writing in it is so good, and the voice, like there's a lot of like James Earl Jones is in it. Christopher Lloyd, is it Christopher Lloyd?
Mm-hmm.
The Marty
Yeah.
McFly, not Marty, but the
professor.
Doc.
or
Yeah.
Doc.
So there's a bunch of like famous people. You'll recognize voices like, oh, that voice sounds familiar. So great voice acting. It's great. Okay. Any more on
Florida.
that? Florida.
Florida.
Okay. So
Speaking of being lost in the woods,
yeah, there's an animal loose in Disneyland.
Oh.
Disney World in the
Magic
Magic
Kingdom.
Kingdom. So if you were in a theme park and there was an animal that you didn't like, what level of animal running around loose would you be scared of?
I mean, any
Like-
predator.
Cause
A
you
praying
see-
mantis.
You see squirrels, yeah, like there's like squirrels and birds, but like if there's like a bigger animal just running around.
Yeah, like any animal that's a predator that would potentially bite.
Maybe
you.
an
Yeah, but
elephant.
if there's like
An elephant.
hippopotamus walking around.
Those are the worst.
Yeah, that's
They kill more people than anybody.
including people.
Yeah.
Hippopotamus, the serial killers of the animal kingdom. So they found there was a bear.
A bear? Now, what kind of bear was it? Was
This
it a
was-
polar bear?
No, it
like
was
been lost.
the bear. It just says a bear. Bear at Disney's King. It doesn't say if it's a brown bear.
This is some quality news as well.
Why?
Because
Oh yeah.
they got like one quote from somebody who said, it's crazy.
There's a bear on the loose.
Yeah, so they're like, "Oh, what do you think about this?" And the kid says, "It's crazy." And then he keeps talking, but then they like cut him off and just do a voiceover. They're like, "This bear was found." Yeah,
that's
but it's
their
near Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. But why would a bear be in?
Well,
There's-
if you know the layout of Disney World, that right there at the bottom of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is the Bear Jamboree.
Bear country.
Yeah, Bear Country.
So what if
I think you're just trying to go visit his people.
Mom? Yeah, find out that all the animatronics are actually like used to be real things.
What?
So like all the old presidents were like actually like people that they took and
Like,
put wax on.
they're actually the old presidents.
They're actually the old president. Walt Disney's head is still frozen somewhere
That's
in
true.
Disney World. What-
Yeah, and he's just like, my bears are singing. I gotta go eat some food.
That's my mother that they took and made into a bear. Yeah, I think
I probably just smelled food, just like any bears going to campsites and stuff.
Yeah, is up in a tree though. Like, so I wonder. It says so. You're like, I think if I was walking around at Disney World and I saw a bear up in a tree, like moving around, I'd be like, oh, cool. Like, I would think that it was just
part of it.
Yeah, because that's how real the animatronics.
It's an immersive experience.
Well, yeah, it's like,
that bear bit that lady's arm off.
I would just think it wasn't real. I feel like that's just part of the scenery.
If it was walking around the park, though, would you?
Oh, well, yeah. And people were like screaming and running away from it. Yeah, I would be like.
But what if they weren't? What if they're like, everybody just thought it was part of the park?
And it swipes at your feet.
Swiper, no swiping.
Yeah, they probably think it's part of the new Brave area where it's like, oh, this is just that girl's mom.
This is her mom.
In costume.
Meridia's
Let's take a
mom.
picture with her.
Everybody's posing.
With the bear.
Just got bears around here. Yeah. I don't know. Well, there was that. Did you see that article in China? About the sun bear?
I saw an article in China.
The sun bear?
Yeah, about the bear that they thought that it was a human.
I did see a headline for that.
Well, probably because that man paid $6,000 to become a dog.
Oh, I saw that too.
So now people don't know what people are, animals or people inside.
You don't know if it was a real bear or if it was a person. Yeah, I remember seeing the picture of it, and so people thought this was a person.
Yeah, the Chinese zoo denies.
Yes, I have seen that because that is totally a person.
I don't know if we. Yeah,
just look it up. Just Google it. There's a
Google Chinese sun bear.
Chinese, sun bear. I just human in bear costume in zoo in China, and then click images, and the first one, it looks straight up like a dude in a bad costume, but then they say it's not. So I don't know.
There's no way. This is like that alien in Mexico too.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Oh yeah, that was real though.
It was two of them.
That was not real.
Rides reopen after bears captured Disney. So, hey, if you're in Disney and you see a bear,
report it.
Well, it's in Florida, so anything
if you see
in Florida,
something, say something.
Yeah,
yeah,
because it's gonna get you.
It's gonna maul your family.
All right, so go watch Over the Garden Wall. Screen it first for your people. There's no. I don't think there's any bad words.
No.
There is a teenage party, but they drink age-appropriate drinks.
Yep.
Like lemonade.
Hey, you kids. I'm just kidding. Trick or treat. It's so good. So good.
Yeah,
I can't.
It's like, it definitely is like a Halloween.
It's a fall show for sure.
Yeah. It's very autumnal, but then there is even a Halloween party.
Yeah.
And skeletons and not ghosts. Well, maybe there's a ghost, but pumpkins and all that kind of stuff. So it is a good watch this time of year. What else? What else is a good watch this time of year?
Oh, Ernest Scared Stupid. Because we try to find funny movies that we can watch with our kids. Ghost of Mr. Chicken.
Oh.
Don Knotts.
I gotta introduce Amos to that one.
I've never heard of any of these.
These are old.
Okay.
Old. Ernest Scared Stupid. The Ernest movies, which are fantastic. Adrian loves them. That movie though has a jump scare in it that it got me as a kid. And then we watched it with our kids, and they're like, "You were scared at that?" Like, because Angela was too. We're like, "Oh, here it comes! Everybody's gonna freak out!" And it's like,
was it that scary?
Yeah, you're like, why was I scared of that? But I don't. Do you have any recommendations that you guys watch?
We just watched the Disney Channel from the early 2000s, like Halloween Town, Halloween Town 2,
Halloween Town is pretty
Halloween
good.
Town 4.
Monster House. That's pretty creepy though.
Yeah, Amos wants to watch that too, and I just keep telling him it's too scary.
It's too scary.
I think we let Shepard watch. But Shepard's at that thing because he has older sisters or older siblings, or sisters. But and so we'll watch stuff with them that he'll just watch. So he's getting to watch stuff a lot earlier than his sisters did. Monster House, it's fun.
Really,
it's animated.
Not seen that one.
The Mickey Mouse things. There's that really scary one.
Oh yes, yeah.
There's a Mickey Mouse Halloween
We typically
special.
watch the little cartoon specials or something, but that Mickey Mouse one was too scary.
Man,
that's funny.
Yeah, but I'm not into horror.
Yeah.
Like I said, really scary stuff. So I don't really do all those.
This month though, we'll probably talk about some more.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a new scary movie on Disney Plus. This PG, I was watching the trailer for it, and I kept expecting it to be
not scary. And
because they're and you're like, there's so many home invasions a year. Or
Oh, I
whatever,
saw that.
and then it's like, but this one is different or something.
I saw that YouTube ad. I was home alone last night, and then my dogs started like barking at the front door. I'm like, is my home being invaded?
Well, we'll get into that. Like what movies make us think other things and like all that stuff. But I think with with that movie, because I kept expecting to be like, and this one's different, and then it cuts to like Winnie the Pooh like eating honey out of their cabinet, or like I was expecting some kind of like Disney tie-in, and then I like keep watching. I was like, this is getting scary.
Oh, I skipped that as soon as it said that this one's different. Skip ad.
Yeah, no, because I thought it was gonna be like, Olaf's in your. I thought it was gonna be some Disney character,
No.
and I just kept watching. I was like,
Olaf's being murdered in the
like
background.
the M&M's commercials.
I was like, actually, this is actually pretty scary. Gremlins. That's more Christmas.
That's weird.
Watch that.
Well, there's
The Grinch?
Yeah, there's the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas.
The Grinch?
Grinch, that's Christmas.
That's
right?
You said that was Christmas.
No, well, the Gremlins, it takes place around Christmas, but it's a scarier.
Hey, there you go. So is the Grinch.
The Grinch. All right. Was that everything?
That was everything.
Any final thoughts? Go to the fall festival, eat some Pronto Pups,
and
watch a movie
over the garden wall.
Over the garden wall.
This year I want to have an outdoor party where we show it on a big screen.
Just do it.
Eat s'mores and people mingle, and that'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
If only I didn't have 4 children. All right.
And 700 ducks.
I only have 6.
100.
6 ducks. They'll leave you alone. They don't come at you.
That's good.
All right. Hey everybody, I'm Chris.
I'm Adrian.
And I'm Jimmy.
And we'll see you next time.